Rip, rip, rip and destroy. Rip, rip, rip and destroy.
The most rock intro ever.
The most rock intro ever. Hello, we're back. Oh my God, there it goes again.
I mean,
it's
it can't be
going
stopped.
crazy. You know why it's going crazy?
Why is that, Christy?
Because we're going to drive you wild. We'll drive you crazy. How are you, Michael?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. This is it's like a bit of joy and
a bit of joy
amidst a lot of work.
Recording this podcast is an elixir.
It is indeed a balm in Gilead.
A balm in Gilead. We're both so busy all of a sudden.
Dude, I don't know what happened, man.
Yeah,
it's kind of bullshit.
It is kind of bullshit.
I'm not cool with it.
I'm me neither. Like, I just want to be watching movies and talking about them, and doing stuff that involves watching movies and talking about them. Like, that's all I care about, and I just keep getting pulled back.
I mean, we had plans to see Scream.
Yeah,
again,
and they were destroyed.
A movie we have both been very eager to see.
Yeah.
It's
we still haven't had a chance to see it.
No, and what's really sad is I said the other night, this might have been last night, I was talking to Aspen. I was like, there was the whole COVID reasons for releasing stuff on streaming, right?
Right.
I've reached the point where I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to actually go to a movie theater.
Right.
So I was like, God damn it, I wish I would pay $50 to watch Scream.
If it were available,
right now.
I would do it. But and I was gonna go with Parker.
Fucking Parker Gray.
Last week, and then Theater Ruins Lives, and I couldn't go.
Of course.
And I said, okay, I won't go. I'll go on the next day. And then I couldn't go on that day either. And I said, you know what? I just might as well wait until Michael can go and we'll go together. But neither one of us has had time.
No.
And so because of that, we also haven't had time to research taco places.
No. So what did you pulled a bold move today though?
I did what busy people do. I went to Snap Kitchen.
Perfect.
It's those little stores on the corners that you walk in and they have refrigerator cases of just
prepared food,
like the old 1950s automats.
Yeah, yes, totally.
Where you go put a quarter
and the food comes out
and they give you a piece of pie.
Those
something
people must have thought they were living in the goddamn future, right?
Yeah. So this is kind of like automat tacos.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. It was like steak street tacos in a corn tortilla with some rice and salsa verde.
Yeah.
And it was delicious. It
was great. Yeah. If you're in a hurry like we are, if you're super busy, it's prepared, go grab it. Snap Kitchen. Also, if you're up late and super busy, you could go to town on some Taco Cabana flautas like I did last night.
That's delicious.
Yeah, it was great.
I love Taco Cabana
Me too.
flautas. And you live near one.
I do. And so it gets delivered. I'm still too lazy to go pick it up.
Oh, I mean, if there's one thing we learned is that getting food delivered is totally worth it.
Yeah, absolutely worth it. And so, that's what I did. And they were delicious. Their queso's great. I love Cabana.
It saddens me that the one Cabana that was close by
closed down. A lot of them did. And we lucked out because the one right by us is still going.
Yeah,
so.
I'm still kind of praying that one day Taco Palenque will make it up here. But we still make the trek a little bit north to get Taco Cabana. It's worth it.
It's worth it.
Snap Kitchen's really good. And if you can't get to a Snap Kitchen and you're close to a Whole Foods, they have a Snap Kitchen refrigerated case right as you enter in pretty much all of them. So they have all kinds of stuff, but their tacos are great.
The beef taco was great.
Yeah.
So we couldn't go see Scream. So what did we watch instead?
Well, we have to talk about why we decided to watch it, right?
Yes, I'm still figuring it out.
A lot of previews have come out. I did go see on my birthday. I went to go see Macbeth.
Oh, nice. Man, we should do an episode about that as well.
It was really, really good. I loved it.
Yeah.
But one of the previews was, oddly enough, at Macbeth, there was a preview for Studio 666.
Yes.
Which is the Foo Fighters movie that's coming out.
That looks really fun.
It looks super fun. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
so if you don't know the premise, it's the Foo Fighters are recording their 10th album. Right? Their 10th album?
Yes.
And as was the case and the tradition of many old school rock bands, instead of going into a studio, they'd rent a mansion in the Hollywood Hills. Yeah, I mean, you know, so many people did it.
Yeah.
Chili Peppers did it. Fleetwood Mac did it.
Zeppelin did it in
Zeppelin
England.
did it.
The Beastie Boys did it.
The Beastie Boys. You just find a mansion and you go record your album for that kind of like real texture.
Vibe. Yeah, we're just living together.
So they find a mansion to live in together, and if what happens, it turns out the mansion is haunted.
Yeah,
and Dave Grohl gets possessed by a demon.
My favorite clip when they're like struggling, and he's like, "I got it, guys, I got it," and he plays something, and they're like, "Yeah, man, that's called Everlong. You wrote that 25 years ago." It looks really funny.
It looks really funny, and the acting looks actually good. Yeah. I know these guys are rock stars, but you know, I mean, Dave Grohl played the devil in A Pick of Destiny.
I have faith in the fact that anything Dave Grohl wants to do, he'll be able to
excel at it.
Like if he was like, I'm going to go to the Olympics as a skier, I'd be like, I believe in you, Dave Grohl. He probably
will do it. Yeah. So in that spirit, I started thinking about the tradition of rock and roll and horror movies together.
And like even our friend Cameron Cobb, friend of the show, Cameron was like, you know, it's, I think when we were all three going back and forth, he was like, it's like the one genre of movies that has a tie-in to a genre of music.
Absolutely. And so I'm surprised actually that it doesn't happen more often. And of course, Rob Zombie's famous. Like,
yes,
he's done so many, and he's also a rock star and all that stuff. But he doesn't do like Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny.
No,
like,
Rob Zombie's making he's making movies.
Horror movies. Yeah, horror movies.
This is more, it's fun, it's winky.
Right.
You know, D. Snyder of Twisted Sister had made a horror movie.
Exactly.
Like it's a thing.
Yeah. So, you know, I was driving down Skillman, and I was trying to tell him about Studio 666, and I was listening to the heavy metal station on the radio, and I Was Made for Loving You by Kiss came on, and I thought, fuck, I love this song.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what you say about Kiss. You can say whatever you want to say about Kiss. They have a few good hits. And
that is one of them. Yeah.
And so I don't know if the children are aware out in podcast land.
I'm going to guess a lot of them are not, Christy.
Back in 1978, at the height of Kiss's popularity, there was a little movie called Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Indeed, there was.
And it was a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah. And what company produced it?
Hanna-Barbera.
What are they famous for?
Scooby Doo. Yeah. Just so funny because I didn't know that Hanna-Barbera had produced it.
Of course not.
I was like 9 years old in 1978.
Yeah.
And I remember it vaguely, but I was also not. They were before my time.
Yeah.
As they were way before your time.
I mean, yes, I'm not going to pretend. I have no memory of when it came out. I was in 78 at the end of, I turned 3 at the end of 78.
Right.
I would learn about it later, more through when I just sort of became obsessed with, excuse me, really bad movies.
Right.
And it's on, almost every list.
Is it on every list of bad movies?
I think the list it's not on is because the people making the list don't know it exists.
They're too young.
Yeah.
So 1978, Kiss meets Phantom of the Park, and I said, okay,
gotta do it.
We gotta do it.
It's like the granddaddy of rock and roll horror movies.
Exactly. Like this is because before then, you know, who was doing heavy metal in the 70s? Like metal, right? There was Led Zeppelin, but they're not heavy metal.
No.
They're just like rock and roll.
They're just pure rock and roll. No, look.
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, I think arguments would be made that Sabbath is like the grandfather of metal. But that's even different. Kiss is like, fuck it, man. We're going all in.
We're going all in, and we're going to do makeup and have a gimmick.
And there's so many bands that would come after that were so obviously influenced by Kiss.
And of course, we now know that Kiss they didn't care. They just wanted to make money. Like they are commercial whores.
Yeah.
And they admit it.
And very savvy businessmen.
Yeah. They, there was a point there in the late 70s, early 80s that their image was on everything. You could get a lunchbox. You could get toothbrushes. You could get Kiss toothpaste. Like
they were everywhere. You can now be buried in a Kiss coffin.
Yeah. No. Insane.
Yes, and so at the same time, like we know that now, right? Mm-hmm. But like there was also this period in the late 70s and I assume the early 80s because of the fucking satanic panic,
right?
Where they were like, KISS stands for Knights in Satan's Service. They're evil.
Oh, who had time to like sit down and figure that out?
Yeah, and I think I was telling you, like there was this interview I saw years ago. It was done way longer ago, but I saw it a few years ago with Paul Stanley of KISS, and they're like, you know, talking about all this absurd like Satanism, and he's like, I'm just a nice Jewish kid.
They don't even believe in the devil.
No, like
it's just rock and roll, man.
Part of their religion.
No, they just wanted to make music and fuck ladies. Like that's what they wanted to do.
And I think they were smart to feed off of like, okay, if this sect of society, if this small, very small group of society thinks we're evil, fine.
Yeah,
we'll play into it.
Even if that, I mean, when you look at them and you look at their onstage personas, right?
Yeah.
The only one that comes even close to any kind of like, and not really, like, I don't know, evil demon figure is Gene Simmons. But not really. No. I mean, what? Ace Frehley he's what, a space guy?
Sure.
Peter Criss is the cat man.
He's a cat, Christy.
Yeah,
he's a cat.
Paul Stanley's like Star Child.
Star Child is
he has a star on his butt.
He's really soft spoken.
He's really soft spoken, and he's like the sexy. If there was like a sexy femme one in the group,
it's Paul Stanley.
Sure. You know,
and even Gene Simmons, you know, he's a demon. It's like, okay, well, he's I think probably a relatively tall guy. Then he wears giant boots, and he has a freakishly long tongue.
Right.
I mean, that's sort of his trademark.
Right.
That's it. And from that, we got like, they're fucking Satanists.
They're fucking Satanists.
Yeah.
So I was like, we got to do this. So I texted Michael immediately. I parked first, y'all. I didn't do it while I was driving.
Yeah, good for you. Don't text and drive.
Don't. I texted Michael and I said, okay, in honor of Studio 666, we've got to do KISS meets Phantom of the Park. So then it became me looking for it.
Yeah,
it was like,
it is not out there.
No, because this was like 2 weeks ago or a week ago or something, and I was like, okay, I've got to find it. And I went to Amazon Prime, not streamable. I tried to find it to like get it sent to me because I write movies off now. That's what I do.
Smart.
And couldn't find a DVD.
Nowhere.
I went to the Roku. I tried to find all the streaming services. It was nowhere. Couldn't find it. I was like, fuck, how are we going to do this? I really want to do this. Well, it turns out, you know, I have a friend. I'm gonna call him Film Deep Throat.
Great.
That I occasionally
meet in a parking lot.
Yeah, I occasionally meet in a parking lot. Like I will dial a phone number, a landline,
of course,
and let it ring 3 times, and then we meet in a parking lot. And I say, I want this movie, and he says, wait. Right. So I contacted my friend who really didn't want me to say their name. And said, man, you've told me before that you can get me any movie. Can you get me KISS meets Phantom of the Park? I'm not kidding you. Within 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah. You texted me back in 10 minutes.
Yeah. I said, I think I have one more resource. Let me see. And like within 10 minutes, he had sent me a link. And he said, here you go. And I was like, oh my God, you are fucking amazing.
It's unbelievable. I honestly and I don't even know where you would begin. Like, I have no idea how he did what he did.
Well, and I said, we're going to thank you on the podcast. And he said, please don't say my name.
Sure.
Don't say my name.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I won't do it. But needless to say, we got a copy of it.
A link
to some secret dark web.
Oh my God. Total. I mean, and then we watched.
And then we watched it.
Watched this movie.
We watched this movie. I watched it on my laptop. You watched it on your phone.
I literally watched it on my phone in between. I have a significant gap between the 2 classes that I teach on Tuesday and Thursday, which is usually like fucking annoying because I'm like, it's long enough to suck, but not long enough to accomplish anything.
Right.
But today I accomplished sitting outside on SMU campus.
By the fountain?
Sadly, that's under construction. But in front of Meadows, just with my phone watching
with headphones or earbuds.
With headphones.
Oh, thank God, because I don't want to know like what would have happened if you had just been listening to it.
Yeah, I think they would have fired me not because of the content, just because I was watching this movie.
Right.
Like, anyone watching that movie does not deserve to work here.
Right. So I also did that. I had a class this morning, and then I rushed home to watch it before right now. And I mean, okay, here's the thing.
It's incredible.
It's terrible.
Yes.
In all of the great ways that terrible movies are terrible. The opening credits felt hopeful.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
great credit sequence.
I mean, the movie opens and you see like this couple, happy 1970s couple on a roller coaster. They're having the time of their lives, making out on
like
the road.
in Magic Mountain or whatever.
They're at Magic Mountain, California. And then it goes dark and what's the song? The very famous Kiss song. Well, some famous Kiss song comes on. And you see these larger than life Kiss figures, or them, and they're like giants
looming
in the park,
over the roller coaster.
Looming over the roller coaster, breathing fire. Yeah. And I'm like, this credit sequence is fucking incredible.
Yes.
Like, I did not remember that.
And really, to me, the best part of the film.
The best part of the movie. It goes like south real fast after that. But so as the story was unfolding, I was like, unfolding, air quotes.
Sure.
I was like, this reminds me of a Scooby Doo episode.
Yes, almost.
But not as good.
Oh, yeah. Nowhere near as good as like a classic Scooby Doo episode, but almost beat for beat.
Yes, literally, these darn kids.
Yeah, totally. So, if you couldn't tell by the title, this is in some ways an homage to Phantom of the Opera.
I guess.
You have a dark figure hiding beneath the park.
Yeah, the park.
In the way that the Phantom of the Opera hides in the bowels of the opera
theater.
house.
Yeah. I wasn't aware that the world of, theme park animatronic robots was so competitive.
Absolutely. It's like the most according to this film, it is like the most cutthroat career out there.
Cutthroat. So like these two guys who have, they don't call it Magic Mountain.
No,
it was shot at
there,
Magic.
right?
Yeah, but they don't but it's at Magic Mountain. So these two guys who opened the theme park, one of them is the designer of all the attractions.
Yeah.
And his name is Abner Devereaux. What a name. I don't know what the other guy's name is, Calvin something.
It's
but it doesn't matter. And these two guys, like, you've seen them in every 70s cop show. Yeah. They're very famous character actors.
Yeah, like these guys made a career of it.
Yeah.
They never became famous, but they made a career of it.
You see them and you go, oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. I've seen him do 100 things.
But they were stars in this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
They were the stars of this movie.
And maybe the only real actors?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the guy who played Abner Devereaux, like, just sat behind that giant console for about a week.
Yeah.
And was like, I'm just going to cash this check.
Yep.
I don't give a shit.
I don't care what I'm doing.
So Abner Devereaux, who's the designer of all the animatronics and all the features and all of the stuff.
Yeah.
He needs his money. He needs funds to continue his research into animatronic robots for theme parks.
Yes.
It's not robotics to save the world.
No. Oh, sorry.
His vision involves, bears and gorillas and a big fat Frankenstein for the theme park. That's his genius.
He's a mad scientist using his powers to create theme park attractions.
Yeah. And he needs his seed money. Yes. I think he keeps calling it seed money.
Yeah.
And he's mad at his partner because his partner is bringing Kiss.
Bringing Kiss to the park.
He's bringing rock and roll to the park.
How dare he?
And distracting from his designs.
This is money that could go to designs. This is people not looking at his designs.
Right.
He's very upset about it.
He's very upset that Kiss is coming to the park because it distracts from his vision of the theme park.
Yeah.
And his partner's going like, but don't you see? The kids love Kiss.
The kids love Kiss,
There's
Christy.
a Kiss army.
Uh-huh.
And actually that's true. Like the fans of Kiss call themselves the
Kiss army is real.
It's real. And so he's, this is all exposition. And he's saying, these kids are going to come watch Kiss. They're going to want to go to the park.
Right.
We're going to make more money.
It's a solid business move to bring Kiss to the park.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is. But Abner Devereaux.
He disagrees.
He disagrees. He's not having it. In the meantime, we have Melissa and Sam.
Sam, yes.
Who are the making out couple on the roller coaster.
Yeah.
They're having a great time. They're like the perfect 70s couple.
Yes.
She's got that super popular 70s look, which is like long brown hair and big eyes.
Uh-huh.
Very Karen Allen, Margot Kidder.
Yeah, she's perfect.
She's perfect. And he's got like a blonde hairdo and he's perfect.
Yeah.
And he works at the park.
Yes.
He works for Abner Devereaux.
That's not going to go well.
In the underground lair.
Right.
And so
why is he underground?
I have no idea.
What is happening?
They have an underground lair at the park. But Disney has an underground lair.
Sure. And that's probably where they torture people.
Yeah, it is. It's like where the robots come out and take your trash. Yeah. But anyway, so they get off the roller coaster, they're making out, and he's like, I got to go to work, baby. I'll see you later.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, okay, I'll meet you by the Coke or whatever it is. And
take your pick, whatever.
And so he goes off.
Uh-huh.
And
does he show up when
he doesn't show up.
Oh no, Christy.
He doesn't show up. So Melissa starts getting upset.
Uh-huh.
So we're like maybe 20 minutes into the movie. We still haven't seen Kiss.
No, except for in the credits. And
she's worried now.
Yes.
And so she goes to the security guards on the park, who are buffoons.
Of course.
Right. And she's like, I'm looking for my boyfriend, Sam. He was supposed to meet me by the Coca-Cola. And they're like, well, there's lots of people who work here, miss. And she's like, I just really told you his name is Sam.
Interpretation of her role.
That's what she was doing.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm just being honest.
She got hired because of that hairdo.
Exactly, she did. And so she goes off on her own.
Yes.
She decides
she's got to find him.
She's got to find him.
She knows something is wrong.
The thing that I was most impressed with is that while she's waiting for Sam at the drinks table, that the girl brings her another Coca-Cola, and she was going to pay for the Coca-Cola, and I fully expected for her to take out bills.
Right.
But she only took out change.
Sure.
And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, because that shit probably cost like 15 cents.
It's like,
I would have fucking been living in the dream, man.
I was like, Michael would be so happy.
Like a 15-cent Coke.
Yeah, a 15 cent and a big one.
Yes, I bought a can the other day because I was desperate. $2.75.
Jesus Christ!
For 12 fucking ounces of Coke.
I haven't had Coke Zero since I was boosted. I think the booster changed me.
It transformed your DNA.
It transformed my DNA to where I no longer crave Coke Zero.
Wow.
It's very strange. So now I'm kind of like, every time I see the price of Coke, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Yeah, it really is like ridiculous. An old person.
But she spent 15 cents.
She spent 15 cents on her Coke. And then she goes off to look for Sam. And they actually tell her, they're like, oh, she works for Abner Devereaux.
Yeah.
In the underground lair.
In the underground lair.
So she goes.
Don't go into the underground lair, Paula.
Don't go, Paula. And Abner Devereaux's like, oh, darling, he's not here or whatever.
Yeah.
Why isn't he there, Michael? Or is he there?
He's been mind controlled.
He's been mind controlled. He has been mind controlled.
By Abner Devereaux.
By Abner Devereaux. Oh, we can't forget the three bad kids.
Yeah, like the punks, right?
Punk kids.
Like these punks.
Yeah.
Who are also down there.
But also they're all like 38 years old.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're like clearly middle-aged dudes playing punks, man. Mm-hmm. These bad kids. Devereaux's going to show them.
Right.
So we will come to learn that he is using mind control and creating human animatronic hybrids.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because he comes across the three punk kids hanging all over one of his animatrons.
Yeah.
A gorilla.
Right.
And he's like, oh, please be delicate. He's a delicate creature or whatever. And they're like, we make fun where we want to make fun.
That's what punks do.
Got that, daddy, or whatever. And here's some free passes to the lair of horror or whatever it's called. I don't. And they're like, well, we may use them or we may not. Like he told them.
They live their lives.
Lives. He doesn't hurt anybody unless he wants to. So they do go to the parlor of horrors or whatever it's called, or the parlor of, I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters. It's a haunted house. It's a carnival haunted house. I was happy to see so many mimes.
Yes.
Get so much work.
A lot of mimes. Like
a lot of mimes.
I wonder what that audition call where the mimes were like, I mean, they didn't say it out loud, but in their minds, they were like, fuck yes, this is my time to shine.
They were just real silently thinking it.
I'm going to be trapped in so many boxes.
Yeah. And I wonder if like the audition was like, okay, can you mime getting whipped?
Yes. Right.
That must have been it. That was actually weird. That was my favorite display at the Chamber of Horrors. Yeah.
And so Sam has been mind controlled. We will learn this later.
Yeah, the
punks have been mind. Mm-hmm. It's almost like this is the next step.
Right.
In animatronics.
And the punks have been mind controlled and turned into American revolutionary soldiers.
What?
I have no idea.
Why?
I don't know.
Bicentennial?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, are we still in bicentennial fever?
But that was 76.
Yeah.
And this is 78.
I don't
But you know, it could be because like it takes a while to shoot movies and it took longer back then. So maybe we're still in the era of like, for those of you that don't know, the bicentennial was like a huge thing. 1976, you know, everybody was all about the bicentennial. Everything had a fucking American flag on it. Like, I think at one point we were forced to take our school pictures with Betsy Ross hats on or some bullshit.
And I use it as like the demarcation because I was born in 75. And, you know, my wife and many, many of my friends who are my age were born in 76. I'm like, fuck those bicentennial kids.
You were before the bicentennial.
I was already out there.
Yeah, you were already out there. So maybe that's why they were Minutemen.
Maybe. I mean, we might be giving too much credit and thought to this. Maybe they had the costumes on hand.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Okay, so we finally eventually meet Kiss, right?
I guess. Because they're building... Oh, wait, no, hold on. So Calvin or Colin or whatever, the Abner Devereaux's partner goes to the underground there and says, you've got to come ride this golf cart with me. And he's like, all right. So they get on the golf cart and they're going through the parking lot where they're building the stage for the Kiss concert. Yeah. And he's like, I have something to tell you. Pause. Put my finger thoughtfully on my chin.
Oh my God.
I'm going to have to let you go. And I'm like, I thought you were partners.
Right. How does that work? Like, it doesn't make sense.
It would be like me firing you from Terran Tacos.
Like, we're done.
Michael, I'm going to have to let you go from Terran Tacos.
Fucking Parker took my job.
You'll be sorry.
Parker Gray.
I'm going to my underground lair.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So
he fires him. And then there's a scene in which he like really slowly walks away from the camera.
Sure, because everything happens slowly.
Super slow. He's like, you'll be sorry. Right. One day you'll be sorry about something.
And so and I might be jumping around, he hatches a plan, right? Mm-hmm. That he's going to make it look like Kiss destroyed the park.
I think so, because he's really mad that Kiss is coming to the park.
And him getting fired, he even sort of blames on Kiss.
He's like, you've brought this rock and roll to my park.
I'm making Minutemen animatronic humans.
Right, exactly. Like, I didn't just kill like three people and turned them into Cylons.
Sure.
So Kiss comes to the park.
Yeah. Finally,
and they're doing their show.
Yeah.
And then they're coming off stage and posing for pictures really silently. Like the sound person did not do their job.
Or was not on set that day. Someone was like, shit, we forgot to call Jimmy.
Right. But they do have powers.
I
did not know.
This is golden. Because I didn't remember this at all.
Me neither.
It's not enough that they are taking on the persona of, say, the Catman.
Right.
They have talismans, Christy.
Right.
Kiss.
Yeah, or how Melissa says it, talismans.
I'm sorry. It's a microphone. So the band Kiss also has talismans that grant them magic powers that kind of relate kind of to the character persona they've taken on.
Kind of.
So like
only very loosely.
So like Gene, right?
Yeah, Gene is like demon. He's the demon, and they call him Demon the whole time.
Yes, they call him Demon.
And he breathes fire.
He breathes fire like demons do.
And lasers come out of his eyes.
Right. And so that's what his talisman grants him.
Yeah.
Ace is gifted the power of teleportation.
Ace can teleport everybody.
Right.
Because he's the one that gets them out of situations.
Yes. So his talisman allows him to teleport everyone.
Paul Stanley can read minds. He can read minds.
He's the Star Child.
He's the Star Child.
And then Peter Criss, the Catman.
What does he do? He wears furry boots.
And sounds like a cat. I
don't really know what Peter Criss's secret power is.
Writing Beth is Peter Criss's secret power.
And that's enough.
That's it.
Honestly,
all you need.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
But so they have powers. And at this point, Melissa is now going crazy because she can't find Sam.
Can't find Sam.
And she's searching for him at the Kiss concert. And the security guards are trying to she can't get past a certain area.
Right.
But Gene Simmons goes, "Stop, Star Child."
Oh my God, yes.
And then
because they call each other by their fucking character names.
So weird. And the thing is that she just saw Robot Sam.
She
just saw Robot Sam taking pictures of the band because Abner Devereaux has a plan.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So he is taking pictures of the band and he's like, Sam. And Sam ignores her because he's mind controlled.
Yes.
And so then that's when Kiss spots her and Paul Stanley says, "You're looking for someone."
Yeah, because he can read minds, Christy.
Right. But also, wasn't he just there?
He was. He goes, he was indeed just there.
Yeah. He goes, they were posing for him.
Yes. They were taking, yes.
Yeah. And he goes, "You're looking for someone, but it's not Kiss."
Correct. But he says that with the thickest New York accent you could ever imagine.
Yes, he does. It's so weird. Then he goes, "He's still at the park." And Melissa feels better, I guess. And then they go off
because if you were going to find your missing boyfriend, the people you want helping you is fucking Kiss, right?
Yeah, that's who you want.
And so in pure Hanna-Barbera fashion, and like you brought up, Kiss then essentially from this point on in the film becomes the Scooby Gang.
Yeah, they become the Scooby Gang.
Right.
So in the meantime, Abner Devereaux, I'm always only going to say his full name.
You have to.
Abner Devereaux.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of Prince.
Yes,
you know?
Exactly. So Sam has been developing the photos that he took of Kiss. And Abner Devereaux is like...
And that used to be a thing that took time.
Yeah, that took time. You had to put it in chemicals. Like it wasn't digital. You had
dark rooms
paper.
And
you
whatnot.
had a dark room, all that stuff. It was actually... I had my first kiss in a dark room.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a sad
in middle school
thing that has disappeared, I think.
It has disappeared.
Yeah.
I had my first kiss from a boy in a dark room.
Aspen, who was an avid photographer in her youth, still talks about missing the dark room. It was anyway.
It was yearbook staff. His name was Tony.
Shout out.
He didn't have laser powers though.
Only
Kiss can
maybe his talisman was stolen, Christy. I don't know.
So here's the thing: is that Abner Devereaux says, "Sam, go find their talismans," right? And
okay. Why does he know? Did he? I couldn't miss something.
Figure that out, and I couldn't figure out.
Or is it just common knowledge? Fucking Kiss has their talismans.
Later, when Melissa's brought into their secret lair,
yes,
right?
Of course, they have a secret lair.
They show her the talismans.
Yes,
and then she says, "I'd always heard that there were talismans, but I didn't think it was real."
Right. Was this a rumor going around?
I don't know. But anyway, so Sam goes to their secret lair. They apparently have a secret lair at the park.
Yes.
And I can't tell if it's a bus or... I don't know.
I feel like it should be a traveling secret lair, right?
But it seemed stationary.
It did.
And so he goes in there and there's crazy fireplaces and, crazy rock and roll shit. And he finds a little red box in a glass case.
Yes.
And he takes it out and he opens it and there's 4 talismans.
Of course.
One for each.
One for each member of Kiss.
And this is where I got a little more confused. Did he drain their powers?
Okay. I think so, right? Because then which one of them has Which one of them?
It's Ace Frehley.
Okay, it's Ace Frehley. So there's the line. It's like, what happens without the talismans?
What happens without the talismans? We lose our powers.
Yeah. So Ace clears it up.
Yeah. Ace clears it up, and he can no longer teleport them out of places.
Fuck.
So that's how they know that someone's fucking with their talismans. Yes. So then stuff happens.
Yeah, and so like, okay, you alluded to it. You alluded to Abner Devereaux's grand plan, right?
Oh, yes.
So he is going to essentially create a robot kiss.
Robot kiss.
Yeah.
And he's going to use their own kiss powers against them.
Yes.
To destroy the park.
Yes, exactly. And then
so he releases a robot Gene Simmons first, because that's who you release first.
Yes, of course.
And he breaks through
those thousands of women aren't going to fuck themselves, Christy. I'm sorry.
It's
been
true,
a long week.
It's true. It's true. Robot Gene Simmons has to go do it.
Yeah.
You know, and since there's two, it'll be 2,000 women.
2,000 women.
So he breaks through this wall, right? I don't know what the wall is, but he breaks through this wall and he fights all the security guards, and then he destroys an abandoned Coca-Cola kiosk. It's just like this Coca-Cola kiosk that has no Coca-Colas in it. That's in the middle of the alley.
Like some weird ass product placement.
Yeah, it was like kind of like, it was just like the director was like, just put the kiosk right here.
Are you sure?
Like it made no sense that the Coca-Cola kiosk was in the middle of the alley, but further, it didn't have Coca-Cola in it.
No, it's totally empty.
It was just an empty kiosk.
Totally empty kiosk.
But it was just there so that Gene Simmons could like, right? Robot
chop it.
Yeah, so he robot chops the kiosk, and then he's loose in the park.
Yeah.
And now everybody's like, what is happening? Oh, then they visit them at the pool.
Oh my God.
Right. Because the cops are all like, they go to the other boss of the park and they're like, it was those rock and rollers.
Yeah. Kiss is getting blamed.
They destroyed property.
Yeah.
And so one of the policemen goes, they're probably by the pool. Rock and rollers don't bathe. Right. I'm like, okay, where did that come from?
Yeah.
I guess they had to like justify why they couldn't use the inside of a hotel room or something.
Yes.
So they go to
they couldn't get that interior.
Right. They couldn't get the interior.
Yeah, you're right.
So they're like, they're probably by the pool. So they go to the pool. There's a pool at the park, apparently.
Yeah.
I just accept everything.
Sure.
Now.
Once we've got talismans, anything can happen.
I accept it. And they're sitting in these giant chairs in these gold lame capes.
It's so weird. It's so fucking weird, man.
In full makeup.
Yep.
And they're like, hey, you're the guy who destroyed the park. And they're like, no, he's just a gentle teddy bear or whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The lines don't matter.
No.
So then Kiss figures out something's up.
Yeah. That they're being framed
for this. Framed for the destruction.
I mean, and this is all sort of coming to a grand finale of Robot Kiss versus Kiss.
Right. Because you know that Kiss concert is going to generate $200,000.
What? I'm like, Gene's watch costs more than that.
Yeah, exactly. So they get replaced. They find Abner Devereaux's underground lair.
Finally.
And finally. And they go to confront him. Uh-huh. Oh, I also love that Melissa goes back adamant to find Sam, and he hands her a security pass.
Yes.
He says, this security pass will get you in anywhere. And it's just a pin that says security pass.
Yes.
And so she's just wearing this like paper hello, my name is thing.
Could be easily duplicated.
Yeah, exactly. But everybody knows what it looks like, apparently. Anyway, so they go to the underground lair. Abner Devereaux traps them in a laser jail.
Yes, laser jail. That's the most 70s thing ever.
And they can't get out.
No.
And then he says, you have front row seats to the fun, gentlemen. And he turns around a tiny monitor for them to watch from across the room.
It was the biggest screen they had back then. All right.
So they're like, what's going to happen? And he was like, luckily you have front row seats to all the action.
Oh,
and he turns around this like tiny, like 14-inch monitor for them to look at. So then apparently he also has the talismans over by his console.
Right.
And they're like, Ace Frehley's like, don't worry, I can get us out of these bars with my mind control. But he can't.
No, he can't.
So they all have to concentrate while Robot Kiss is on stage.
Yes, performing Rip.
Yes. Rip and destroy.
Yeah.
And then the fans don't like it because apparently this song is like way terrible than normal Kiss.
Kiss.
And they recognize it immediately.
Yeah, this is not
a Kiss song.
Right.
This is not a Kiss song.
Right.
And Kiss is upset.
Of course.
And they're like, we must all concentrate.
Uh-huh.
And then so they all concentrate and you can see the strings lift up.
Oh my God.
You can see the strings lift the talisman box and move it across the room.
Oh my God.
Until Ace Frehley catches it.
And then he can teleport them again, right?
I don't know.
I feel like that's what happened.
I guess that's what I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They teleport.
Yeah. And they
fly through the air.
Yes.
They fly
of course.
Yeah. They come out of space again.
Right.
I guess they teleported into
space so they could,
and then they could fly in to the concert.
Yes.
And then like there's like an amazing kind of karate chop.
Yeah.
Fight that happens between the Kisses.
Yes, between Robot Kiss and Real Kiss.
And
Real Kiss wins.
Yeah, Kiss wins.
And there's a line, it's like, they try to use Kiss to destroy Kiss.
Yeah.
But it failed.
But
or something like that. I don't know.
That's the final line of the show.
And really the theme that we've been getting to.
Abner Devereaux is in a catatonic state by the end of the movie.
Which I also was like, so he's been mind controlled?
I don't know what happened.
And then they release Sam from his mind control.
Paul Stanley releases him with his eye lasers.
Yes. Star Child.
Yeah, Star Child destroys the thing on his neck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. He destroys the thing on his neck. And so Sam is back. Uh-huh. They're going to have hot cocaine-fueled love.
Wasn't it all cocaine-fueled?
Absolutely. It is. It is the most. It is maybe. Okay, what was the crazy fucking 70s movie?
Oh, Lord.
With the hexagon, the decahedron.
Oh, the dodecahedron.
The dodecahedron.
Oh, seed.
Demon Seed.
Demon Seed.
I'm not sure which film involved more cocaine.
Yeah.
Demon Seed.
That's a competition.
Or Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park. Like, it is really neck and neck.
It's neck and neck on that.
So that's it.
That's it. That's the movie.
I said to you when I got here earlier, the next time I ever hear, because people occasionally like to say things like this, the next time I ever hear, oh, anyone can act, I'm going to show them this film.
Yes.
It is stunning, Christy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm like, when I'm doing the line reading from Melissa, I'm not exaggerating.
No, I feel like you're even doing better.
Yeah.
Because you have intention.
Yeah.
I don't know that Okay. Shark Exorcist.
Okay.
That might be
worse.
The only comparable. I've seen better acting in porn. I mean, seriously, right?
You're right.
Like, it's shocking. Also, and like, I didn't expect this movie to be good. And I know I had seen it when I was young, but I didn't remember it. But I was like, look, man, their whole thing is being theatrical, right?
Right. And
their whole thing is performative. I thought
that they would be good at it.
Yeah, at least passable.
Right. It's not.
No. And then
not
you told
at all.
me.
And then I was telling you that, like, so they had to go into, they gave each member of the band like crash courses in acting that
it did not work.
That did not take. And when they were talking, the writers decided we're going to hang out with each member of the band for like a week or two, because writers sometimes will do that. They'll be like, I'm writing for a specific person.
Yeah.
I want to get a sense for how they talk, for the language they use, for their patterns.
And especially if you're writing for
non-actors
who are insanely famous and
you want to write for them.
Sure.
So they're like, we're going to hang out with each of them for a little bit. And apparently Ace Frehley would not speak to them. He would not speak to them. He would only do, he'd do a thing. He'd go at them.
Fantastic.
And so, which is something that I noticed at the end of the movie after Paul Stanley says, it's been misdirected, where they're like, he's a genius. but misdirected. And then you hear him say that. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
So then I went to go read. And it turns out that the writers were like, okay, I mean, I guess that's all he's going to do. So we're going to turn his character into kind of this like cosmic Harpo Marx.
Who doesn't speak.
Who doesn't speak, right? He just utters that one thing.
Yeah.
But then Ace Frehley got super mad that he had no lines in the movie.
Because the egos involved in this are just astronomical.
Absolutely. He wasn't mad enough, though, that he didn't stop using drugs for the film.
Right. And I did not catch this on my phone.
No.
But you caught this, or John caught it.
John had told me, and then I went looking for it. But it's clear, like you don't have to look for it.
So there are moments in this film when if you look close enough, or honestly, if I was probably watching on a larger screen,
you would know.
It's obviously not Ace Frehley.
It is an African-American stuntman.
Playing
in Ace Frehley's makeup. Yeah. And he's a famous stuntman. He like went on to be Eddie Murphy's stuntman and Wesley Snipes' stuntman and a bunch of stuff. I think his name's like Anthony Olney or something like that.
But generally, when you have a stuntman, you try to find someone who
looks like you.
Looks relatively like you.
Yeah, and I'm sure because there's a lot of like fake karate that happens in this movie.
And you know Ace Frehley wasn't doing that shit.
No, none of them were. Like when you look at that final fight, it's none of. I mean, it's like you look at Peter Criss, and he's not a super tall guy. No, he's kind of like a slight gentleman, right?
That's why he's a cat.
Right, he's a cat man. But then when he's fighting in those sequences, he's suddenly
he's like totally
super
jacked.
buff and jacked, and I'm like, that's not Peter Criss.
No.
But anyway, it's not as bad though as when you're looking at not Paul Stanley, at the Ace Frehley fights, and you're going, that's not Ace Frehley. That's clearly a black man playing. It's so hilarious.
It's fucking insane, and like. I mean,
for years afterwards, like they hated the movie.
Sure.
After the movie came out, Kiss hated the movie.
Yeah.
And anybody who worked for them was not allowed to talk about the film. They were not allowed to talk about the film, and they hated the movie because they felt that the movie made them look buffoonish. And I was like, the movie made you look buffoonish?
I'm pretty sure everything you do is buffoonish.
I mean, you are a grown man wearing crazy makeup, pretending that you're a demon so you can fuck ladies.
Right. You are a buffoon.
And hey, more power to you. It worked. You're super rich, and your wife was a hot model from the 70s.
Yeah. Good for you, Gene Simmons.
But come on.
Yes, you are buffoons.
You are buffoons.
It is like, it's a study, oh my God, in hubris. Because I was even saying, so like I was telling you, like, you know, like you said, I was very, very young. Not just when this came out, but when Kiss was like a thing. Yeah. You know? And so like my first introduction to Kiss, I was really little, and I had an older cousin who was into them. And like as a little kid, I was like kind of frightened of Kiss, right?
I can see why.
Probably specifically Gene Simmons. And then watching this today, I was like, I was scared of these fucking idiots. Like, what?
They're clowns.
This demystify, like, why did they do that? Why
money,
did they do? Yes.
Money, dollars.
Y'all.
American money, dollars.
At some point, you have enough. I don't know what else to say.
Why do you need more? Like, your face is on a fucking lunchbox.
Yeah, and if you did need more, just like go play a couple of extra gigs. Like, you do not need to make a made-for-television movie produced by Hanna-Barbera.
No, and like we talked about it. It's they have a few really great hits, but you can count them on one hand.
Sure.
Like they're not. It's not like we're talking about.
This is not Led Zeppelin.
It's not Led Zeppelin. This is not Nirvana. This is not. Radio. I mean, it's Kiss.
Yes.
And
they are a niche.
Yes, exactly. So they are a mediocre band. I'm going to say it.
Oh, shit.
It's a mediocre band.
I agree with you.
Who said, I know how we can make a shit ton of money.
Yes.
Let's put on makeup and wear crazy costumes and have fireworks on stage.
Yeah.
And more power to you.
Yes. And there was a time.
But this was a misstep.
Oh my God. Yeah. Because there was a time in the 80s when they took the makeup off.
They took the makeup off.
And it fucking tanked.
Yeah.
Because like
nobody wanted that.
Again, you go see Kiss for the entire thing, not because, again, like,
because they're incredible musicians.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, But man, at some point you gotta believe someone should have stepped in and been like, guys, we're all doing fine. Maybe we don't need to do this one thing.
Yeah.
It's fucking astounding how bad they are.
It's so terrible.
I mean, we were joking. It was like, you could grab a kid who doesn't even understand they're in a movie, like a little kid.
Yeah.
Like, if I may, George on Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Who when
I'm working.
Who when he's very little, that kid doesn't know he's in a fucking movie or whatever, or TV show. He's still doing the work better than these guys.
Right.
Like, it makes...
Yeah.
It's actually stunning how bad they are.
It's really terrible.
Also, and then like the woman is really bad.
Just really bad. So I because I like to go in and read about stuff like this. It was directed by a man named Gordon Hessler, a British film director.
Wow.
I like to imagine him like walking around the set going like, darling, stand over here. Put the kiosk right there. It doesn't matter. You know, whatever.
Jimmy, get me Catman.
Yeah. Get me Catman. Who actually directed, was a big director of like B horror movies in the 60s and early 70s.
So that's why they got him.
Yeah. He directed Murder in the Rue Morgue. He directed a few others that are famous that I can't remember right now, but a lot of them.
Yeah. So, okay. Look, there's no way around how bad they are,
no.
Right? I don't know how, are we okay on time?
Yeah, we have a few minutes.
Okay, so there's no way around how bad Kiss are in this film. Like,
no.
I cannot stress to you people enough. It's
bad.
The worst shit I've ever seen.
It is terrible.
But on a larger scale, I think especially when it's like you're dealing with rock stars or whatever, but when you really are going for horror comedy, even if it's B horror comedy, there still has to be some element of horror to make the thing work.
Exactly.
And that can be like in Scream, where it, tonally shifts. I don't know, man. You're talking about Wes Craven. He's a goddamn master. Right. Where it can, when it's funny, it's really, really funny.
That's part of what's terrifying about it.
Yes, because then when it's scary, like...
Yeah, he tricks you. He lulls you into feeling...
The Drew Barrymore scene that's fucking iconic.
It's genius.
And it's terrifying.
Yeah.
In slasher terms. Or... you can have super wacky, and then when it's scary, quote, whatever, you go full on gore, right? Mm-hmm. Like Peter Jackson does.
Right, Army of Darkness.
Yes, or like Sam Raimi does. Yeah.
Right.
So that's another thing. This isn't...
Does neither.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just mimes.
It's just mimes.
It's just mimes pretending to be like, it's a small world after all. Like, in the gallery of horrors or whatever it's called. It's literally just mimes, like kind of like doing the same motion over again. There's a big fat Frankenstein. Sorry, that is supposed to be scary. He didn't do anything. And there's a lot of potential actually there.
Sure.
Even in Scooby Doo.
Yes.
Even in Scooby Doo, the mummy runs after the kids.
Yeah, man. There's some threat.
There's some threat. Right. Even in Scooby Doo, like the ghost goes after Shaggy and Scooby.
Yeah. Also in Scooby Doo, Velma's smart.
Right.
And like
can figure things out.
And like Daphne's brave.
Yeah.
And Fred is like, hey. And Scooby and Shaggy are getting fucking high or whatever. But like they have roles.
They are getting high, aren't they?
Sure.
That's why they need the sandwiches.
And if you look at Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like why they called them the Scooby Gang, it's like, dude, no one. They can't.
There was nobody like that. They were all dumb.
Because once they lose the talismans, we don't have no powers.
We don't have no powers. No power. What happens if you lose the talismans? No powers.
It's just...
And Gene Simmons, like way in the background. Like Gene Simmons took every opportunity to just pose with his crotch out.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're not sexy. Like,
dude, it's made for TV, bro.
He's so gross.
He's such a strange
I have always found him to be super disgusting.
Yeah.
Like,
that's fair.
When it is fair.
Yeah.
They were, I was, like I told you, I was 9 years old. So, and there were little boys. There were little boys at elementary school who were all about Kiss, but I still don't even think they knew or understood entirely what it was.
No.
Right? Nobody does. Because to them, it's just like,
costumes,
whatever. And, as I got older, I was like, oh, well, maybe maybe I like them now. I never did.
No,
I like I Was Made for Loving You.
Great song.
I like Beth.
Yeah, and we even talked about apparently when I think it's Peter Criss, right?
Yeah.
When he brought it in, they were like, "Fuck, are you doing, man?"
Yeah,
because it's a ballad.
It's a ballad played on beautiful. Piano. It's a beautiful song. Little... And also, when Paul Stanley brought "I Was Made for Loving You," it was real disco because it was at the height of the disco era. And Paul Stanley was like, "Let's try this." And what's his name? Gene Simmons was like, "What the fuck are you doing?
Right.
This is like he was shocked."
And I'm like,
but if you listen to it, it does have like a driving kind of disco
also,
beat behind
Gene,
it.
Integrity's never been your thing, man.
Come
That's
on.
not the
Your face is on a lunchbox.
A lunchbox. Oh, okay. So look, I don't even know if you can go see this because you have to have a friend who is,
who's filmed Deep
who
Throat.
found the Watergate recordings. But
I don't know, maybe on the DL, maybe if you ask me.
Yeah, or at the very least, go watch the trailer. I also did find one thing I found that was very amusing is someone basically it's just like 3 minutes of their dialogue because they actually don't have a ton.
No, but I wonder why.
Yeah, right. If you just want a glimpse at like how bad. You can watch that. Yeah.
Go watch that. If you want rock and roll and like a tiny bit of horror or, demonic, whatever, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny is pretty great.
That movie knows what it is and it's funny and Dave Grohl's great and it's funny.
And Jack Black is hilarious and so is the other guy.
And then like you said, on the flip side, if you want to see a guy who really did truly go between both worlds, I mean, that's Rob Zombie.
Yeah. I don't know what the Dee Snider movie is. I have no idea. So
don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Oh,
yeah. He's I think it's called Strangeland or something. He's trying to be Rob Zombie.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I think the huge difference is like, Zombie's actually a filmmaker. And look, I'm not a huge fan of everything he does, but like
he's doing his thing.
Dude's making choices.
Yeah.
Dude
I love
choices.
Lords of Salem.
Yeah,
I don't care what anybody says.
He's approaching it as a filmmaker.
Right. Yeah.
All that said, I am excited to see the Foo Fighters movie.
I can't wait. I feel like Foo Fighters movie is more along the lines of like Help.
Yes. And I think, look, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with like why I maybe don't like Kiss. And to be honest, I've always liked Paul Stanley more than Gene Simmons. But like, if you walked away saying this made you look like buffoons, you take yourselves way too fucking seriously.
You wear big shoes.
Yeah, man. You wear real big shoes. And probably shoot fire out of a penis on stage. I don't know. I never saw them live. But
they're idiots.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, they are. But so like even from the clips or from the trailer, like you could tell Grohl and those guys are not taking this that seriously. No. Also, you can tell it's gonna have a real fucking budget.
Exactly. And actually, you can tell from the clips that these guys are good actors.
Yeah. And so that'll be the culmination of rock and roll. Real quick, if you haven't seen, like, you started Archive 81.
Oh my God. So good.
I've only seen one episode, which I really like. Yeah. But that's a new horror series on Netflix. I'm on episode 3. And like I told you last night, like episode 1 and 2 are excellent. I can't tell. This may be a good sign, but I can't tell if episode 3, if it's going to go off the rails or if it's about to level up. I mean, that's a fun place to be in.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, what's going to happen? But it's super clear that in its women directors, women writers, it's super clear that these
based
women
on a podcast that these women created.
Yeah, and they love David Lynch and Twin Peaks.
Great.
You can totally tell.
I watched Last Night in Soho. I'm going to say this. That's Edgar Wright's latest with Anya Taylor-Joy and Matt Smith. I liked the first 2 acts, and then Act 3 I thought was absolute trash. But I will say this. It is, and I texted you, aesthetically, it is stunning.
Okay.
And you want to talk about a guy who like studied Hitchcock, studied Lynch, whoever, and I should have written her name down. The costume designer is incredible. And I'm going to tell you this, Christy, because we're friends. It has reignited my love of Petula Clark.
Wow.
Because it's so heavy, like it's 60s English music.
Yeah.
So like sonically and aesthetically, I love it. Diana Rigg is in it. I think it was her last thing. She's fantastic. The acting's good. It just goes off a fucking cliff. Man. And I was so disappointed.
It's hard sometimes.
Yeah, but it looks great. And yeah, like I said, they play Petula Clark. And I was like, I think I love Petula Clark. Clark.
Yeah, well,
I'll take her over Kiss any day.
Absolutely. She's Petula Clark for a reason.
Yeah.
What are we going to watch? I don't know. Hopefully we'll get to see Scream.
Well, hopefully we'll get to see Scream. If not, maybe, I'll catch up on Archive 81 and we can talk about that and maybe some of the other scary shows.
Maybe, maybe life will stop fucking us.
Yeah, man.
And we can do this more.
Yeah, that's the dream.
All right. See you guys later.
All right, bye.
Bye.